Welcome to Toffee TV. This is the Everton News Daily. A roundup of all today's Everton news. There's plenty of news at the moment. Obviously, since Romelu Lukaku came in, we're being linked with all kinds, and the world has gone mad, and everyone's starting to see the influence Farhad Moshiri is having on Everton Football Club, and that is making a difference already, which we'll talk about just in a moment. A couple of stories to lead on to today. Everton have been made the favourite by the bookies to sign Juan Mata. We'll have to wait and see on that one. It's a quite easy sort of link. It looks like he'll be leaving Manchester United. Obviously, the arrival of Jose Mourinho is probably going to signal the end of his Manchester United career. It certainly signalled the end of his Chelsea career when Jose Mourinho went to Chelsea. So it looks like Juan Mata will be leaving Manchester United. He's been linked with a lot of Turkish clubs and obviously moves to Spain. But he's been linked with Everton as well, and the bookies have made him favourite. That'll be interesting to see. Juan Mata, does he excite you? Is he someone you'd like to see at Everton? I think he's a great player. I think he's a very underused player, and I think as a playmaker, makes a lot of things happen. And he's a hard worker as well. I really like him. I'd have him at Everton in a heartbeat. So wait and see on that one. Other stories today. Everton, slightly not Everton. Leon Osman obviously left the club now. Talks that he's going to sign for Wigan Athletic, which would make a lot of sense. Him going there. Obviously, he was born like in between Wigan and Liverpool, so him going to Wigan would make a lot of sense. Also, they've just been promoted. Be a great experience going into the Wigan team, so that could be a fantastic move for Leon Osman. I really hope it comes off. Other news today: Everton have been linked with a move for Wesley Sneijder, who's currently playing in Turkey. I think he's playing with Galatasaray, Galatasaray. Obviously, Dutch international at his pomp, was an absolute top class midfielder. Again, a number 10. I'm not sure someone of his age would fit in what Everton are trying to do. I think he basically left Inter Milan to go to Galatasaray, and that was almost like his retirement. So I wouldn't. It's not someone I would touch. I think it's probably 3 or 4 years too late to be signing a player like that. But as Pomp, a top player, it's just one of those links. You're going to get these every day. Anyone who's Dutch, anyone who's playing in the Northwest, anyone who's played for Koeman before, anyone who plays for Southampton, they're all going to be linked with Everton. But that's good. It's good to be being linked with players. It's good that, people might start taking it seriously. I've seen a report today saying that Moshiri wants to buy a top class, player to stamp down what he wants to do. Very much when Manchester City went after Kaka, and obviously went after Robinho, not great, not players of really would have fit in with Man City at the time, but just to say we are here and this is what we're trying to do, this is what we're looking to do. So that's interesting. Erwin Koeman, obviously brother of Ronald, the assistant manager, has been in papers today talking about the players and what awaits them when they get back to training, and it was a bit of a rude awakening for them, to be honest. He basically said they're going to have to need to get ready for a bit of a hard time. Basically, it's all about running. It's all about working hard. Everton will be playing a pressing game next season, and the passing that we've seen in the last couple of seasons is going to go out the window. It's all going to be about pressing when Everton don't have the ball. Something we've been calling for a long time on the show. It's okay when you've got the ball. It's when you haven't got the ball. Excuse me. That's the most important time for me. So, he said today, it's nice if training is enjoyable, but that is not the main thing. That is to be a better footballer, and what you need to do to win games. If it's enjoyable as well, then that's a plus. So basically what he's saying is, you put the hard work in the training, you work your backsides in the training, And when it comes to a match day, you're fit and you win a game, and that's enjoyable. Winning football games is enjoyable. Training's not supposed to be enjoyable. That's the bit where you work hard and you get your head down and you start putting the work in. So he's absolutely dead right, and I think some players will rise to that. Some players won't, and they're the ones that will be found out. I've said this before. That happened at Spurs. The players who reacted to it have rewarded themselves. And players like Andros Townsend, who couldn't cope with that, end up being relegated with Newcastle. That's the difference for me. That is the difference. You know, one nearly won the league, one gets relegated. That's the difference. To the main story of today, it's obviously about Romelu Lukaku. We've heard lots about him in the last few weeks. He's been talking, he's been saying this and that about, possibly leaving the club. Slight change in the last couple of days since Ronald Koeman come in. Ronald Koeman suggested in his press conference last week that he's going to try and sit down and speak to Lukaku and John Stones. And have a chat with them. And then over the weekend, there was little reports coming out saying we're not looking to sell. We're not looking to sell. Yesterday we were saying about bringing in a new striker, linked to a new striker. Again, we're not looking to sell. We're looking to add players. And today, Lukaku's agent, Mino Raiola, who's always got something to say, is actually sort of maybe made a statement based on that. He said, Everton don't need money anymore. Romelu wants to play for a club that can win trophies. Something has changed at Everton. There's a new project. If he leaves, it will be good for all parties. Basically, he also said he is too expensive for an Italian team and only a global power can pay for him. And he mentioned the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG when he was talking about them. So what he's basically saying is Everton aren't going to sell Romelu Lukaku just because Romelu Lukaku wants to leave the club. What he's saying is, if he leaves, Everton will get absolute top dollar for him from a top class club. Now we'll wait and see if one of those top class clubs come in for him. I don't see it. I don't see one of the very, very top. Maybe Paris Saint-Germain. They've got to replace Zlatan. Maybe they'll come in for him. Maybe. But I just don't see one of those very, very top clubs coming in for him. And Everton just might want to sell. Everton might just sit the lad down and say, listen, we don't want to sell you at the moment. We don't feel it's right to sell you. We're trying to build something here. And we'll wait and see. So it looks like the message might be getting through to Lukaku's camp that, number one, we don't want to sell him. And number two, maybe the clubs that are looking at him, that want him, the fee is going to be far too big for any of those clubs. So we'll wait and see on that one. It's an interesting point. I've said, I want to keep Lukaku. I'm not really interested about what he said. He's a footballer. Footballers will always look after themselves. The days of, being supporting that club and playing for that club and all that kind of thing, they're gone. But at the same time, for me, the days of the player having all the power have gone now, because clubs have got that much money that they can basically say, well, we want this ridiculous fee for them. If you're not prepared to pay it, then you're not going anywhere. Players sign contracts. If they stay till the end of the contract, then they can get ridiculous amounts of money for going on a free. And as we've seen, there's no loyalty either way. Everton have just released, players like Pienaar and Tony Hibbert, who've been at the club all their lives, and there's no emotional goodbye. It was thanks, bye now, and that was it. So it works both ways. So I'm not really that bothered about what Lukaku said. He's an employee of the club. If he stays at Everton and scores a bundle of goals, we'll all love him for it. So I'm happy off on that score. I'm happy for him to stay. He's a top player when he wants to be, and maybe this manager can get hold of him and start using them right and start teaching them how to control the ball, basically. And also, if we get some more strikers into the club, that's going to help him as well. So I'm happy for Romelu Lukaku to stay. Tell us what you think. Tell us in the comments whether you want Romelu Lukaku to stay at the club or has he burnt his bridges for you. As I say, for me, I want him to stay at the club and we'll wait and see. There's plenty going to be happening on this. Plenty more news coming up on this. So stay tuned to Toffee TV, and we'll see you later.